We're talking about a guy, his first press conference, he looked like a buffoon. He looked like a goofball. And a lot of people in the media who aren't in the locker room, they might not understand that. They see this guy, they might look at him as a joke initially. And that's what they did. They looked at him as a guy who, was kind of goofy, kind of silly, but at the same time, you go in the locker room, you see a guy who believes in every single one of his players. You see a guy who's going to motivate them. All you got to do is watch a Campbell post game press conference. Makes anybody want to walk through a brick wall or run through a brick wall, even better. And then you talk about a guy who has been around some of the great coaches. We mentioned Sean Payton as well. But I
Yeah.
think when I think about Dan Campbell now and the impact that he's had on the city of Detroit, as a guy who had seen the Detroit Lions at their worst,
Mm,
going 0-16, being on that team, as a guy who loves the city of Detroit
mm,
and wants to see not just the fans be happy, not just the players, but also just the city at large and what it's meant for a city that's had a lot of heartbreak, not just with the Lions, but also with the Pistons and also with the Red Wings, and then also a city that's known as the Motor City, having automotive issues as well. So all that galvanizes into what it is now with them making this run. And I think, we look to the hire of Antonio Pierce now as
yeah.
somebody who I think that we saw Sean McVay and the impact that he had when he got hired and what it led to for the next 5, 6 years. All these coaching hires. You saw Matt LaFleur and all these other guys, Brandon Staley, some of these other head coaches that got opportunities because of Sean McVay. I think that Dan Campbell has the opportunity, especially now, where you see a former player who loves that city, who puts his heart into there, people getting an opportunity now who maybe not before because of what they've experienced with that city as a whole. And I think Antonio Pierce, you point to that hire. I
Yeah.
think that that's partially because of not just what he did for the Raiders, but also what Dan Campbell has done for the Lions.